Hello and welcome back to my forever world. My name is Millie and my channel is all about finding comfort in video games. In this specific series I play Minecraft and hopefully help you fall asleep. But however you're watching today, I am very happy to have you here and I hope you enjoy spending some time in this world. Okay, so let's start building. And we start today in the inn on the second floor, and I'm just admiring again the framing of the lighthouse through this window and even the fact that you can see the beach. I never expected this place to look this good, and you can disagree with me and it might not be up to your taste, but I think that given the progress or how little progress I've sort of made here, I think what I have is pretty nice, and I'm fairly pleased with how it's going. So just a little recap of last episode if this is your first time here, or if you I don't expect anyone to really fully pay attention to these videos, but last time what did we do? We made the rock pools down on the beach, and I did some cleaning up of the cave, and then of course we built the entire inn, and the interior is not decorated at all. We made the staircase, but we slept on the ground. So I know the title of the last video is me building you guys an inn for you to sleep in, and I didn't mention that it was entirely unfurnished, but I think it's almost quite like a modern concept that you stay in an inn and the ground is still grass. People would pay good money for that, maybe. But yeah, I hope it wasn't too bad and you still got some sleep. And I did sleep on the top floor, but it's fine. But we have removed the bed and are now chiseling away at the ground. And oh my gosh, look at that down there. That's kind of scary. Don't tell the the what is it called? The punters? The people who order stuff at the bar or stay at the inn. Don't tell them about that. But again, I would like to make this a big basement with barrels and stuff full of all the liquor and the beer, and then have that lead to a ship warehouse, sort of a ship storage area, because that way whenever the tavern or the pub, I never know what to call it, the inn, gets deliveries, they can go straight to the basement from the docks. And honestly, stuff like that just I know I didn't intentionally build the docks with this in mind, and I wasn't sure what was going to go here, but now I've decided on the tavern. Having everything else sort of line up is really nice. The fact that I can have this little storyline about how the tavern works, and yeah, it's this world brings me so much joy, and it's such a nice creative outlet. And I know we've had this sort of discussion at different times about the creative mode, and I did film like a whole part of the last video talking about creative mode, and I feel like even I'm just talking about it too much because the majority of you don't care, but I do. Certainly lets me be creative and I don't run out of stone like this. But I will have to call up the villagers to get some more. And that's the sort of narrative I've been creating, where I play on survival in peaceful, and if I need something I ask the villagers to collect it for me, and they are the ones that are supplying the creative mode resources. But I probably will switch to creative in this video again, and like I said before, if you don't like it, I get it, and I'm sorry, it's not for you. It allows me to be fully creative, so imagine that, being creative in creative mode. Okay, so make some kind of entrance, and I'm not really sure what to do with this space. I guess in theory it would be like a foyer, a sort of cloakroom actually, with little places to put your jackets and your shoes and your wet brollies and stuff. But can't really do that in Minecraft, at least without the mods. And then I have to add some kind of beams to the wall, which will affect the way it looks from outside. But I don't actually mind that. I think it would make it look a bit more rustic. And I'm just kind of guessing the spacing, because there's only two things that I know I want for this space. I want a bar, a big bar, and I want a fireplace, because if you know, you know, a good pub always has a fireplace. And it just makes you think of like winter and autumn when it's colder, and there's like nice countryside pubs where maybe you have like a Sunday dinner, or you just go for like a coffee or something, and they have a fireplace. That's such a dream day out, and I haven't done that the entire day out, where you go for a walk, maybe in like the Lake District or something, and then afterwards you come back and have dinner in like a pub with a fireplace. And that sounds maybe a bit too sounds like a maybe like old fashioned, or like too old, but that sounds lovely to me. And I think this bar is actually a really good size. But then I guess I have to do seating as well. This is what I need to do, streaming, because I can get feedback on this kind of stuff straight away. I think I want a few more beams, and I think maybe the bar should be slightly smaller, because realistically as well, it's not going to be used as a bar. Like, I don't need to actually have space for people to to walk around. What's the closest job a villager can have? That's like a bartender. I guess the like the alchemist, is that the one? I give them that sort of, what is it called? That like the alchemy Bunsen burner tube thing. Have one of those behind the bar. And I do have, again, my Pinterest board up full of different ideas for Minecraft bars. I'm not using any specifically, like I did last time with the reference for the tavern. So yeah, I'm just clicking through ideas for bars, for taverns, and I also have the greatest reference, the Bannered Mare from Skyrim, which I mentioned last time as being in part inspiration for this place, because it's got that main sort of triangle part and then the longer bit to the side. I think the Bannered Mare has it going off to the left. But I also asked everyone what was or is your favourite tavern or inn, pub, all of the above, in different video games, and a lot of you said the Bannered Mare, which, hey, what can I say? We've got taste. So that is it was always going to be a reference to this place, but it makes me want to reference it even more. Now, will it look anything like the Bannered Mare? No. I also talked about the fire pit that the Bannered Mare has, and how that's quite dangerous. And I think here I just do not have the space for that kind of setup, and the benches too. But I'm thinking about the Bannered Mare as I'm making some decisions. Also, you can't sort of copy that greatness. Has anyone made the Bannered Mare in real life? Oh, you know what that just makes me think about? That is in China, I'm pretty sure, because I've seen it on TikTok, so it must be true. There is a sort of replica of Valentine from Red Dead Redemption 2, and I want to go there so bad. It looks really cool. But someone should do that for Skyrim. You know, like Universal has made Epic Universe in America, and they have like House of Train Dragon. I know that's like a huge IP, but can you imagine if they did Skyrim instead? I mean, maybe the kids wouldn't know what that is, but that would be so cool. There's also some mentions of various places from Breath of the Wild. So the stables, which, I mean, they are an inn. I don't think they're a tavern. Although, can you buy drinks there? Maybe Moo Moo Milk. Um, but those places are so nice. I mean, the music is fantastic. And I'd love to put the music from those games in this sort of video, but I know Nintendo are very particular about their music. And this is very reminiscent of a Skyrim fire pit, but it's so smoky. Maybe I should get a resource pack that reduces the smoke of campfires because it's a bit much. So maybe not that idea. But yeah, I always the seeing a stable in Breath of the Wild was like having a moment of calm in a storm. And alternatively, people said Hateno Village too, and there is an inn in Hateno too. That town is so lovely. Again, someone should recreate the entire town and let me live in Link's house. There's also the tavern or the inn from Fields of Mystria. Yeah, the Sleeping Dragon Inn. It's Crunch said that, and I'm very happy that you mentioned Fields of Mystria because I have 100% talked about this game, especially I think when I was talking about Stardew Valley. But again, if you don't know what it is pretty similar to Stardew Valley, art style wise and maybe theming wise. You have a little farm in a new town, but I think it's just, they've taken a lot of the ideas from Stardew Valley and they have put their own spin on it, but they've also expanded a lot of the stuff. And I played in the, like, when it was, what is it called? Like, it's not fully out yet. What is that? Early access. And also, I'm just going to switch to creative. And it was fantastic, and I really, really loved it. But like I said before, I kind of got burnt out because I just wanted to only do the mines, and I wasn't really like invested in the dating stuff because it wasn't fully fleshed out yet. But the game is getting a proper release next month, which is very soon, and I think I might make at least one video on that game. So, Fields of Mystria, you sleep, I play, maybe soon, because I really, really enjoyed that game. And I'm going to play it from the start as well because I've definitely forgotten a bunch of stuff. But yeah, it's really one of the moments I remember from that game is just going into the that tavern on a random day, and it was D&D night. Like the other villagers are playing D&D, and you can like read all their texts as they're role playing, and it's really good. It feels very alive in that town, and I do prefer it to Stardew Valley. But I've gone over this. I'm not the biggest Stardew Valley fan, and I have over 100 hours in it. but it's not one that I find myself returning to as much as other sort of cozy games. So I'm excited to get lost in Mystria. And you can already see that I'm being very indecisive as I'm decorating the interior here, which is very classically me. So I have switched over to creative mode again, just so I can sort of cut down on the things I'm thinking about and just focus on using whatever resources. So people keep mentioning that I can turn off the auto jump, and I don't think I ever complained about that. I like it. I know it's visually annoying, but I don't really mind the auto jump. I feel like yeah, it doesn't bother me as much. What other questions? What other things do I see people say? Oh, people always ask about my microphone and how I record these videos. So my microphone is the Shure MV6 and it is a USB microphone. I think the rest of the microphones that Shure makes are like, what is it called? That like the fancier cable that's not USB. But we're not there yet. I'm not ready for that. It's too fancy. So now I'm gonna work on the fireplace because at least on this wall I will be able to have the chimney on the outside and it won't interfere with the staircase, because I was thinking the fireplace under the stairs could be nice. But yeah, I don't want to ruin the staircase, because it would have to go like to the staircase and then across and out the building. But in terms of how I keep the sound from picking up my keyboard and mouse, well, there's a big trick to that, and it's that I record the audio separately. So I play the game, and I do also record my voice then, but I mostly record afterwards and kind of put them together, because the way I see it is I'm creating this content and I want it to be a bit more curated. I'm already not voice acting, but I'm speaking in a softer tone, and I want to make it the best possible sort of audio experience. So yeah, there really is no sort of trick to it. Alternatively, when I play other games, I have used my controller to kind of stop the sounds coming through, because that's a lot quieter. But yeah, there really is no sort of trick to it. I wish there was. I would love to record all of this audio as I'm playing, but even in saying that, I is another reason why I'm very intimidated to stream. I'm not very good at talking and then also doing something at the same time. I tend to just kind of stop, say what I need to say, and then carry on. So yeah, this kind of stops me from doing that. But having done both keeping the live recording in and then doing this sort of voiceover. I prefer this. I think it's really nice to sit and just watch the video back myself and make comments too. But yeah, and I do keep in some stuff from when I was playing it. But it's also, if you remember, I had issues with my microphone making sort of buzzing sounds, so I have to sit further away when I record, and that's another reason why I can't play, because I can't like sit at my desk and then also record without the buzzing and it picking up sounds. So there's a bunch of issues that I didn't think I was going to face, but I'm dealing with them. And honestly, I genuinely really appreciate every comment that you guys leave in regards to when I ask questions and stuff, because I do genuinely read them. I think so deeply about video games. Like, I'm very what is it? Like, I live in my head a lot. I use my imagination a bunch, and I think about games and media all the time. So it's nice to ask people about what they're into too, because it's kind of an insight into who we all are and what's going on upstairs. So yeah, someone else said the Lion's Pride Inn from World of Warcraft, and I'm not too sure where that is. Again, I have very little experience playing World of Warcraft. I played Classic for like around a month, and I didn't really make too much progress. But I imagine that is an alliance pub because of the lion, and I bet it's really cute. I bet it's really nice. And I love that inns in video games are kind of like the hub for your adventures, because someone else said Monster Hunter, and that's exactly what the sort of tavern is. I mean, you have a meal before leaving as well, and of course there's cats there. Who wouldn't want that? Oh, Yote's Shadow Inn from Ghost of Yote. I haven't played Ghost of Yote, but I've heard very good things from a good friend of mine. She loves that game, and I would definitely want to try playing that. Someone said the mended drum from Discworld, and my dad would probably know a bit more about that. He enjoys Terry Pratchett. I started reading one book from the sort of Discworld series. What is it called? Mort. I didn't finish it, but I liked it. It was a nice sort of break from the other stuff that I read. And yeah, I always look to try and read stuff that like my dad is into to have stuff to talk about. So I need to get back to that. I haven't read a book in a while now, and again, I really, it's like just like with games. If there's a book I really want to read, I tend to kind of save it for the right moment. And especially with books, they're like a treat, because if I pick up a book that I like, I'm not putting it down until it's finished. So it's a very big time sink. So yeah, I have to kind of set aside like an entire day to just read that book. And yeah, I haven't given myself that yet. So maybe I should. Someone else said the Stardrop Saloon, which I think I also mentioned as well. I did forget the name of it. Now I need to. Which, speaking of which, I think there's definitely a video of someone ranking all the taverns in Skyrim. I think I've watched that. Someone said the Blue Moon Inn in old school RuneScape. And I'm not familiar with that one, but I trust you. I think it's difficult to not make an endearing video game inn. And then I really like the idea of having some shelves built into the wall, but then I have to account for it outside. So I think I'm just gonna make the roof wrap around this little segment here. And now that we have some rain, someone also said that they really liked the rain and that they would like it for like an entire episode, and that is actually a nice idea. I think I will probably try to do that. Just have an entire episode full of rain. And again, I still get comments about the like thumbnail of the video being you sleep, I play, and people thinking I'm saying you play, I sleep. And I've been so tempted to make that kind of video, and I was thinking, oh, I should do it for like a subscriber special, but I think people would get offended. I do. I think that's the sort of thing where people would think it's funny in concept, but dislike it if I actually did it as a joke. So we'll see. But I think that'd be so funny. But I would want to make it at least a decent video too, where I put music on in the background, and it's not me talking. It's just my own playlist compilation of different video game music. Again, I wish I could add more video game music, but there's a lot of copyright stuff, so I tend to only use music from games that I know they're okay with sort of content being made about them, and but still, there's a large selection, so maybe that video will come soon because I would love to make it, and it wouldn't be a replacement for this video. I would do it. It would come as an additional video, so hopefully it wouldn't make anyone actually upset. Oh, I've said before that I don't personally watch much kind of dedicated ASMR content, but I have seen, and sometimes I will have a little look because I'm interested in sort of like tavern or fantasy-esque, D&D-esque sort of ASMR roleplay where they're a tavern person, a barkeep, and you are a traveller. And I love that stuff. I think it's so. That's if I was to do ASMR, I would be doing that kind of stuff. And it would just be me getting to live out my LARP fantasy. And I've added some flowers too behind the bar because the Skyrim pubs always have those dried herbs and flowers. And then two kegs with their respective taps. And then bar stools would be a good idea, but I really like the way the shelves look against the bar, and I think if I were to add bar stools, again because the blocks are quite big, they would be seated quite far away and they would take up a lot of space. Okay, and I think we kind of have the got like the fundamentals of a good bar. It's really coming together. Sort of speaking of fantasy historical aesthetics, I went to go see the Odyssey in the IMAX in the cinema, and I'm usually not the biggest fan of sort of like the big blockbuster movies, but I do enjoy going to the cinema. And yeah, I'm obviously not going to spoil stuff, although the Homer's Odyssey is a pretty old book by now. But yeah, I won't spoil like scenes and stuff. But it's a good movie. It's definitely worth a watch. Obviously, it's a lot of bad stuff happening, but if you can manage it, obviously there's a lot of sort of harder things to watch in the film. But I did enjoy it. I will say though, if you've never been to an IMAX before, I would genuinely consider bringing earplugs, but like it was so loud during some of the scenes, and I wanna protect my ears. I was kind of shocked by that, but it did make you feel like you were right there on the boat. So yeah, but I love kind of anything historical, anything fantasy, and I wasn't sure like how much fantasy they were going to include because obviously it's a very sort of mythological, fantastical book, and I thought they did it really well. I wasn't sure how they were going to do it, and then when you kind of see the first elements of fantasy, I was very impressed. And it's also a lot of like physical effects. I think for the future of filmmaking, let's keep it physical. It's like one of the best movies ever. Lord of the Rings has like all physical effects. And I know they are so much more expensive to produce, but damn if it doesn't make a difference. Originally, I wanted to have two rooms up here, or two rooms plus the one in the blue roof. But now I'm thinking about it, I think that it might be there might not be enough room. I'm gonna try and see if I can squeeze two rooms in. But then, even in Skyrim, I'm pretty sure most of the inns only have like two rooms ish. They always have kind of like a larger one and then maybe one on the ground floor. Going to be a bit of a tight squeeze for the smaller room, but that would just be a cheaper room. Is it cruel to not even give them one window? And is that a hole in the roof? That's not good. I need to sort that out. Now, would I be comfortable staying here? I mean, I've stayed in smaller rooms, but I think it's fine. I just don't know whether I need to think that sort of practically about the villagers in this town, because I'd rather make something that looks nice than practical. It is very small. And then I'm thinking I could turn this area, this window, into a balcony and have stairs going down. And then it would be really nice to make this kind of like the more expensive room where you get all the space and a balcony. So now I think I'm inclined to take down the wall. Pretty good views up here. I'm gonna see how it looks as a balcony. And I know I should not be using gates for the balcony, but they work. The fences don't line up properly. So technically it's very dangerous, but um aesthetics are more important than safety. And I've always said that. Oh wait, I love this shot. I don't know, Minecraft can look so cinematic sometimes. You might disagree with me, but I think this shot is it's really nice. And then what to do about the roof? Does that give me enough headspace? It does. But it's a bit clunky. I wonder how this looks from the outside. A double door for the bigger room. I think it looks okay. It's very big though. Then I'm gonna replace the glass blocks with panes. Did I not pick them already? Oh no, they're on my hotbar. I just didn't. I just haven't chose them. And I'm trying to think of a question for you guys to talk about in the comments, because like I said, I genuinely think it's interesting, because I think a certain way about video games, and if I can find like-minded people, that's always really nice. So I've asked about favorite inns and taverns. I know there's endless questions like that, like what is your favorite castle in a video game? What's your favorite video game castle? But that's not, it needs to be something relevant. And something that I think about, which I don't know how many other people think about this too, but when I play a video game, I think about like bedrooms. So I will have specifically in my mind, like as soon as I think of that as a question, specifically two straight away pop up into my mind. And the first is in Bioshock Infinite, there is a bedroom, and I think it's pretty early on. I think it's when is it? I think it's one of the first times you kind of go up onto the rooftops and you break into an apartment, and you kind of fall through, I think, the ceiling, and I think you land on the bed. You land in the bedroom for sure. And I know Bioshock Infinite, Columbia is a terrible place to live, but aesthetically, it's very pretty. So that bedroom is sunlit in the morning, and it's like drenched in light in such a way, and it just looks really really nice. And the whole house is quite nice. You get to go downstairs, and I think there's the kitchen, and you leave the kitchen and then you have another shootout. But yeah, the part when you're walking around the bedroom, the skylight is really nice. And then the second bedroom, and again, this is just how my mind works. I've always done this in games. I've always just thought, where would I want to live? Like when I play a game, I play the game. Like I'm in the game. It's me. And it's Arno's bedroom in Assassin's Creed Unity. And I can't really remember the context of that. I think it's maybe Arno's relative who lets him stay in that house, but that house is gorgeous. It's got this massive like staircase and a foyer with a chandelier, and that's the kind of thing where if you looked over my shoulder whilst I was playing that game, I would just be walking slowly around that house, and in my head I'm like going about my daily routine. I really do escape into video games. But the bedroom there is really nice because it's very, this is like a term that no one uses anymore, like higgledy piggledy. Like it's so random. There's like little, like the bed is in this little room, and there's like a wraparound balcony, and then you can go through into another little room, and you get access to the attic, which has all the outfits of all the previous assassins that you can unlock. And that's always like a thing in those games that you like strive to do, so you can change Arno's outfit, and I of course did that. But yeah, I just remember the bedroom being so like eclectic and so interesting. And yeah, I think some of us, I think some of you maybe have a bedroom in a game that you remember and you remember liking. And I've added a fireplace because they can have a fireplace, double doors, a double bed, and then also a balcony. I'm not sure if I want it to be... See, that seems too big. A double fire is a bit too big, but I don't like how it doesn't line up with the room properly. I mean, I know the roof looks quite bad because obviously one side is less steep because of the balcony, but it doesn't, it kind of hurts my eyes. Maybe it could be a wardrobe or like a shelving unit. I think I'm just going to have a double bed here instead. We can come back and maybe later decide to add a fireplace. But yeah, tell me your favorite video game bedrooms. And if you've never considered that before, maybe give it a think now and pick one. Pick a bedroom that you would like to have. I'm trying to think of other ones. Oh, I have to say, Chloe's room, maybe, but Max's dorm room. It has like the nostalgia of a dorm room in university, and I just like all the pictures on the wall. It's very of its time, and it's cozy. She's done the best that she can with the space. There's also and I think the thing is, when I think of all these rooms, the most memorable part of the bedroom is the lighting. In all of these, in Bioshock Infinite, in Life is Strange, even in Assassin's Creed Unity, the lighting makes these bedrooms feel so cozy. And I mean, it's not very cozy, but there's one bedroom in The Last of Us, and it's that sort of like ranch house. Like, it's a very big house, and it's where Ellie has the conversation with Joel. Everyone I've ever loved has either died or left me by the window. But that bedroom, I know it's in an apocalypse and it's very run down, but there's something really nice about it. Wouldn't necessarily sleep in there though. What with the dirt. And also, speaking of bedrooms that don't seem very sleepable, Elden Ring, Marika's bedroom, which I assume it's her bedroom because it's got that really big, well, I mean, it's a stone bed. I don't think I would sleep on that, but I'm not sure what else that room could be if it's not a bedroom. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe it used to have kind of pillows on it and some cushions and stuff, but she hasn't been sleeping there for a while, so maybe it's been removed. But that is, again, fantastic lighting. The way you walk in and it has the drapes draped over the stone bed, and then that's also reflected in the DLC. It's so good. Those games are so well crafted. I'm just gonna keep this room pretty minimal, and it's already nighttime again. So as I'm recording this, I'm listening to the Life is Strange menu music, like the guitar song in the menu, and I've loved that sort of track for years, and it provides like endless comfort. And yeah, I don't know if I could put it in one of these videos because there is also something quite melancholy about the song, but I find it very cozy. Again, I have never played all of Life is Strange by myself. I remember watching people play it, and I think I tried it myself, but I never finished it. And even though I know what happens, I think I still like to try it sometime. Seems like a very timeless game. But yeah, if you need some repetitive, chill music to listen to, I do recommend the Life is Strange main menu theme music, and I will leave it in the description as well if anyone wants to listen. And now we need some seating. And I know booth seating is not anything that suits this place very well, but I don't know how else to fit in some seats. It would be nice to have tables and chairs, and then some sofas by the fire. And there's always like a nice armchair by a fire in a pub. But yeah, we just don't have the room. And I've put some kegs here, some barrels, but I need to think about as well where I'm gonna have access to the basement. Probably should be behind the bar. And I'm thinking a ladder just because of space. Or maybe I can have a little room that I can tack onto the side here, like on the left. And I can just extend the building. Because, again, realistically, if I had a ladder that went downstairs, how are they going to bring the barrels upstairs? They can't really climb the ladder. And I've worked in a restaurant before with a bar, and that was the worst part because everything was stored in the basement and you had to bring up like crates of wine and the big beer, like silver kegs, and that was not, I could not do that on a ladder. I have to be really, really careful with using the flint because I have, and will probably do it again, lit fire to stuff. And if you want to know the name of the rug texture pack for the carpets, I will also leave that in the description. And my shaders are always in the description, by the way, but not all the texture packs. But I've said that before that I'm just delaying making a sort of description list of all of them for no reason other than I keep forgetting. I'm not trying to gatekeep at all. They're not mine. And I think the stone floor could use a bit of like breaking up. It's very like one one texture, so I'm gonna make sort of an entrance out of stone, smooth stone, and then around the bar. Now, would you come here for a drink? The only answer is yes. Do not upset me. I worked very hard on this place. And again, I'm always open to suggestions if you have any ideas of little things I can add to the bar. I am always open to suggestions. Well, actually, speaking of suggestions, someone said about having a sort of like courtyard area where people can watch the ships come in and have a drink. And I know that's like a really popular thing for like harbour areas. And I agree, I'm gonna have on the, say you're facing the tavern, on the left side, I want to have a sort of terrace. And then also on the right by the water fountain. And I think I'd like some kind of more foliage and trees to the right of that. Oh, and also for the resource packs, the painting pack that I have, I will also show in the description. And I don't know if there's a way to see all the options of the paintings that it has. Maybe on the gallery or something, but butterflies are nice. See, that's quite nice, but I think it's a bit too big. So I'm just going to play around until I find one that I like. And I think eventually it'd be really nice to get the mod that lets you add your own photos in, because that would be, I mean, that would just make my world very much my world. I think that's okay. It's not too much. Can't figure out what I like more. I definitely do want some more greenery in here, but yeah, I want it to be a bit more kind of like rustic and natural. I think that pot looked a bit too like fancy. Okay, I like that a lot. I like just having the little glow berries. Minecraft is so fun when you can just be creative. And again, thank you so much for watching, because I know this is not groundbreaking content. This is just me playing Minecraft and you listening. But I'm really happy that people like watching. So thank you. Well, it would have been nice if I could have a sunflower in the pot, but I think it's too large. And I honestly think the downstairs is pretty much done. Just need to work a bit more on the upstairs and then a lot more on the interior. Sorry, the exterior. And then I think the tavern is pretty much done. It's so nice to have a nice real building. So yeah, this area I think would be really nice with some little seating. And again, I'm really considering now adding a sort of furniture mod because this would just take this to the next level. But I definitely need to break up these bricks because it's a lot on the eyes to just see kind of solid slabs like this. And yeah, maybe like a little walkway around to the back, and I want the back to just be, yeah, like lush little flowers and trees. But yeah, I'm kind of coming to the end of today's video, and I hope that you guys weren't disappointed with what we got done today. But I had so much fun designing the inside, and yeah, thank you for anyone who has watched or is asleep or has just watched and listened to me talk like I'm, yeah, your friend in Discord playing. Which, like I said, I like that idea a lot. That's really nice. So yeah, I hope everyone has a fantastic week ahead of you, and I will see you next time.